Welcome back, guys. We are still working on the front end on this ratty thing. We're gonna get this side apart, get the new stuff on it, and get this thing back on the ground, hopefully today. You ever just not be in the mood to do something? Like, I've been putting this off all morning, but I finally decided if I don't get up and do it, it ain't gonna get done. But I've found a few things while I was under here. Like, some of these bolts are about to fall out, so that might be some of my weird noises I've been hearing. Hopefully it's just stuff like that, nothing too serious. But in the last video we did get the other side done. We got the steering box on, I got fluid back in it. Hopefully it's all the air's purged out of it and is ready to go. Of course we'll have to grease everything, and but I want to show you something here too. Look at this being up on jack stands, how the gap right there, like there's so much flex in these frames on these cars, it's just ridiculous. Like the doors don't even want to open with it up on jack stands like that, because it's kind of got it, you know, bowed down in the front. Ridiculous. But yeah, I think if I ever build this car like I want to go through and box the frame and brace it and make it a little stiffer. But anyway, that's for another day. But I'll get the camera set up and we'll start trying to get this side tore down, and hopefully it goes smoother than the other side, because that other side was a pain in the butt. But anyway, give me just a second. Alright, so I got these bolts tightened back up. Apparently the guy that put this car together the first time was a dumbass and put the wrong bolts in it. I'll give you two guesses who that was. Me. But anyway, we're gonna get back to tearing this thing down. Went ahead and got the caliper bolts out. I'm gonna try to hang this thing somewhere. Maybe. Now, all these bolts are loose on this side. This side don't have a hole like the other side does. Oh yeah? Huh. Let's see. Where, oh where? Yeah, that probably ain't gonna stay there, but whatever. Cotter pins out. Maybe. This would be so much easier if I had a rack. I miss having access to a rack. Oh, try to get this sway bar unhooked. I should still have everything laid out from the last time, but it doesn't appear so. Hold that thought. Oh, I promise I try to be prepared, but it just never works out. Come on. Put everything back together so I can keep up with it. Alright.
What size all this stuff is.
Ooh, a bit tight. And it's going to be tight all the way out. I'm definitely not the biggest fan of doing front end work, but it's part of it, I guess. Ah, sucker. I'm really going to try to keep my temper tantrums to a minimum today, so I don't have to cut out so much of the video like I did last time. But I do get frustrated working on front end stuff, especially on the ground like this. It's so much easier when you have a rack and all the proper tools, and plus I'm old and getting in a bind doing this stuff the way I'm having to do it here is rough on an old man. That's the price of having old cars though, I guess. There we go, finally.
Well, what the hell?
Never grabbed the right set the first time. You got to make 3 or 4 trips. My brake pads have been rubbing the rubber up there. Sure enough, but that makes some racket too. Oh, all right, floor jack. There we go. Oh shoot. I forgot to take the jack or the shock out. Son of a bitch. Getting ahead of myself. Just about bet money the floor jack is going to be right in the way. Maybe not. Oh, finally. We'll definitely have to be putting different nuts and bolts in that thing when we go back together with it for sure. All right, let's try this again. Got too many tools in the way. There we go. Don't try this at home, kids. All right, so I got everything just kind of loosely bolted in. I put my spring compressor in and tightened it up with the impact. You can see it up there. Oh, I'm out of breath. But the way the compressor draws the spring up, it wants to kick the spring out like out this way. So then I had to like hold on to this and like push it with my foot and try to jack it up at the same time to finally get it in the pocket. But it is finally in there. Whew, that's like work. I done had to shed some layers. It got hot in here all of a sudden. So I'm gonna try to get the spindle on there, or steering knuckle, whatever it's called, and get the spring compressor tool out of there. Try to get the camera up. I had the camera going and knocked it over because it's hard to like put pressure on stuff when you're laying on a creeper, because when you try to push off you just roll away, and I kept rolling into the camera. So anyway, I need a camera person. Oh, now, come on. No need for all that drama. The bad thing about this spring compressor is once you get the spring in there, it is a nightmare to get all the pieces of the tool out. Come on. Well, that one wasn't too bad that time. Whew, I might have to get my glasses. I can't see nothing. Whew. Maybe we were just tighten the piss out of it. Perfect.
A little bit more. Whew. Yeah. Go ahead and hook the sway bar up, maybe. Ooh. Can't find nothing. I know I had it because I took it out. Whew. one more thing to hook up.
Yep. Perfect. All right, so it's all back together. I did have to trim out a little bit on the inner fender, which I need to go back and do the other side too. I just kind of bent it out of the way when I put that side together, but I do need to go and just kind of lob that off. But anyway, she's back together. I got to tighten up all the bolts and everything, and which I probably should have did that before I hooked this up, because the steering arm is going to be in my way. But anyway, I'll get all this tightened up and grease it real quick, and we'll throw the tires on it and get it on the ground and see how it sits, because that's kind of what I'm worried about, how low it's going to sit now. It definitely looks like it sits a little lower in the front, but I didn't measure it beforehand, so I can't say for sure. I think it's, you know, maybe just an inch or so lower than it was, because the car kind of set level, and now it's a little high in the back, but I could always take those spacers out in the rear and kind of level it back out maybe. But we already have an issue. Show you what I'm talking about here. As soon as I let it down, it squished all the fluid out of this shock, this brand new shock that I just put on. So that sucks. So we'll get another shock, but everything else seems to be fine. The oil pan, you know, I mean, it hangs down pretty far. I hate that, but I don't want to pull the motor out right now. Oh, that's rough on an old man. The problem is, I don't think I can pick the engine up enough to get it out in the car, because the transmission is damn near up against the floorboard. So I think the only way to change it would be to pull the entire engine out, but I ain't doing that. So we may just chance it, and then if I knock a hole in it, then I'll worry about it. Of course, my luck is I'll do that like 1,000 miles from home on a road trip. I should have fixed that a long time ago. I should have, when I first put the car together, when I put this motor in, it didn't have no front cap or none of that on it. And I realized it then, and a smart guy would have pulled the motor out right then and swapped it. But I did not, because like I said, at the time the car set up really high, and I didn't think it was an issue. And I have since tore the whole top half of the motor off of this and redid all that, and that would have been a good time to do it, you know, when you already had the motor half out anyway. But I'm not a very smart man, I have said many times. But anyway, I think that's kind of where I'm going to end this video. I appreciate everybody watching as always, and we will catch y'all on the next one. Go work on your junk.